Hello, everyone. My name is Seth, and today I want to give you my review of Elemental. I love Pixar. They just make really good movies. There's so many just absolute classics that have come from this studio. And Elemental was one of my most anticipated movies of the year. Life got in the way. I wasn't able to go see it in theater, but I finally got around to watching it and I really enjoyed it. But before I go any farther, go ahead and hit the like button, hit subscribe, and hit the bell icon so you never miss a video. So jumping right into this review, I really liked it. Honestly, I think I liked it more than I was anticipating because when it came out, I kind of heard some so-so things about it. And I was like, oh, that's a little disappointing. The box office at one point was disappointing. People weren't going to see it. And I was like, oh, well, that's just really unfortunate, really disappointing. But I got around to watching it and I really, really liked it. Now, don't get me wrong. This isn't going to be one of like the all-time classic Pixar movies. But I think you would really enjoy it if you haven't seen it already. One of the things that stood out to me, it's easy to stand out, is that the animation is really, really good. It's incredible. Like there's so much attention to detail to the world and to the characters. And they've created a really interesting world here. And I got to say, shout out to all of the design and the animators. They were able to have all of these different characters look different. It would be so easy to kind of have all of the fire people look the same, all of the water people look the same, but they didn't do that. They all had their own unique look, and that's just a really good testament to how well this was designed, this was animated. And speaking of some of the animation, I really think where the humor in this works for me is a lot of the physical humor. I really like how when Ember's temper flares, she flares. Like there's a big burst of flames. Like that works. And one of the things that's really funny to me, there was a joke they had where Wade was trying to cover up his inspector badge, put his arm over it. It kind of magnified it because of the water, and he did his other arm, magnified it again. Some of that really worked for me. And I think this film really is at its best when it's using the characters, using the environment, and telling us the story without really giving us any dialogue. I think there's some strong direction and cinematography here. There's some really thoughtful shots. However, I do feel maybe some of the dialogue is one of the weaker points of the film. I think some of the dialogue was just a little bit too on the nose, and some of it kind of took me out of the film a little bit. Like I said, it shines when it lets the visuals do the talking. And I'm not going to give any spoilers in case you want to see it and you have not yet, but for an example, there is one part in the movie, I would say a few parts, where something's explained a couple times and then something happens and we know the consequences of that event, but they have the characters basically tell us again, hey, these are the consequences of this event. And I feel like that was really unnecessary. I understand this is a family movie. This does have kids in the audience at mind, but I feel like they could have trusted the audience a little bit more. And Pixar's typically really good with that. I don't think that they necessarily succeeded on that front here. I will say with the script and with the story, they do a good job of reinforcing the idea that people are different and that's okay. That's good. We all have value. And they did a really great job here with the love story. And this film is basically an animated romantic comedy for families, and it absolutely works. Our two main characters, Wade and Ember, they are great. They are really good characters. They are so charming, and they work so well together. You just feel good. This movie just makes you feel good. You just love. You know what I mean? I could say it's almost like watching two of your friends fall in love. Like, it's just really cute and charming. Both Leah Lewis, who plays Ember, and Mamadou Athie, who plays Wade, do a great job. Both of their performances really shine through. Mamadou gives Wade such a magnetic personality. He just seems like such a good guy. Like, he seems like he would be an awesome friend. And you totally buy Ember falling for him. And Ember, on the other hand, she has a really fiery personality, pun completely intended. She has a temper throughout the film that tends to get the better of her. And it would have been easy for this kind of character to lean toward the unlikable side. I think both with the writing and Leah Lewis's performance, it works. Her temper is just a part of her character. It's not what defines her. There's a lot more depth to this character, and I really appreciate that. And I really enjoy what they do with her story. Again, I'm not going to spoil anything. I want you guys to go watch it. It's on Disney Plus, so you can easily go see it, and I would definitely recommend it. One thing toward the end of the film that did not really work for me, that kind of took me out of the film a little bit. Again, no spoilers, but they do this trope in a lot of family movies and a lot of kids movies, and it doesn't work here. If you know film, you can kind of take a guess at what it might be, kind of the second act to third act transition. The film didn't completely fall on its face by doing this, but it's something that really took me out of the film. I just thought, really, we're doing this? And I feel like there's a better story beat that they could have used to transition the story into the third act. It kind of just seemed like a quick manufactured conflict, and that really just didn't work for me. And I think personally that kind of thing happens too much in family and kids films. The ending was maybe a little bit predictable for me. However, it still had a really strong emotional payoff. Overall, I gotta say, I really enjoyed this. Like I said earlier, I enjoyed it, I think, a little bit more than I was expecting to. And I'm so glad I did. And I'm so glad that this film ended up making money over its theatrical run. I think it deserves it. It has a very interesting world with really cool animation that is the basis for a really charming and sweet love story. Our two main characters are well written, well performed, and I think it's just makes for like a really good, feel good kind of movie. I think I'm going to end up giving it a 4 out of 5. But that's it. That's my review of Elemental. Let me know in the comment section down below what you thought of Elemental. I would love to hear your thoughts. We're getting closer and closer to 100 subscribers. So if you haven't yet, please consider subscribing. It would absolutely make my day. Also, don't forget to like this video, hit subscribe, and hit the bell icon so you never miss a video. Follow me on social media, pretty much anywhere, @CinemaSeth, and I'll see you next time.